just oh God, I feel like I'm getting emotional now,
Yeah.
actually. Like,
Yeah.
the struggle was, like, so genuine. I
Yeah.
don't know why I'm, like, suddenly feeling it right now.
Hello, DJ, drag superstar, and all-round humble human being, Jodie Harsh here. Welcome to Tea Time with Attitude Magazine, a weekly show where I spill the freshly brewed tea with the latest eliminated queen from Drag Race UK Season 2. Today, I'm joined by Kofi. We are joined by national treasure Kofi. Hello!
Hi, not national treasure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still smiling about the fact that you asked RuPaul if she was sure she wanted to send you home. It's like always good to double check, I think.
Yeah, it's you've got to dot the I's and cross the T's, so you need to just make
100%.
sure she felt like she made the right decision.
Absolutely. How did you feel watching this week's episode back?
Do you know what? I was so nervous, like, in the lead up to it. I was, like, genuinely like, okay, not this. It's happening. But then as soon as it was done, it was like a sigh of relief. Like, I'm like, everyone's seen it, everyone knows now. We can sort of like breathe again. Yeah, no, I felt really relieved, and like genuinely I felt quite proud of myself.
Yeah, as you should. Yeah, and I've got no plan, to quote you, is basically all of us right now. Were you ready to go?
Yeah, I felt like it was kind of my moment. I mean, I absolutely like dreamed, like wanted to sort of like fight my way to the final. But it's been hard. Like, that 7-month break was, like, as much as it's like TV and everyone sees 7-month break and they're like, well, why didn't she put more rhinestones on it? Mama, did you watch the special? Veronica was in bed for 12 weeks. Like, it was such a hard time. And we all have sort of like personal struggles and everything like that. So with everything that I'd had going on during that time, coming back was already like really trying to push through that barrier. And then as soon as I found out that Veronica wasn't going to be there, just like, oh God, I feel like I'm getting emotional now, actually. Yeah. Like, the struggle was like so genuine. I don't know why I'm like suddenly feeling it right now. It was just like really hard. So I was like really trying to push through as much as I could. But as soon as Bruce said sashay away in that moment, I was like, okay, I can breathe again and work out what my Wagamama's order is going to be.
Yeah, 100%. Go and have a massive cup of tea and get into bed and watch some TV.
Delish.
Yeah. Did you agree with Rue's choice for Lawrence winning the lip sync?
You know, I knew that I was facing off against someone who had won 3 challenges in a row, and I would like I'm really close with Lawrence now. Winning 3 challenges, like, you can't really argue with that.
Let's talk about Snatch Game. So you did Mel B, and we saw you being persuaded to ditch Shirley Bassey. Do you regret that decision?
Yeah, I do a bit. Just a lot of the decision making was based on what Rue was saying. And I just sort of, in that moment, you know, like, we've all watched it before. We watched season 1 where Rue was like, why are you doing David Attenborough? And something was like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. I think it's definitely the right decision. And you're like, no, that was a terrible decision. So I was like, okay, I need to change it. Sticking with it didn't work for the last one to get sent home on Snatch Game. So I'm gonna change it up. And I shouldn't have. That was a terrible decision.
How did you feel performing in front of not one but 2 divas, RuPaul and Gemma Collins?
Oh, the GC. I have actually auditioned with Gemma Collins for the first series, so I was like, maybe I should have cracked that out. As someone who was born and raised in Essex, I was like, this is clearly a sign. I'm gonna win the Snatch Game.
Yeah. Was she on her best behaviour on the day?
Oh, she was.
Okay, good.
She was gorgeous. She was like sat there taking it all in.
Okay.
Having an experience.
Now, earlier on, you were voted Baroness Basic by your fellow queens early on in the competition.
Yeah.
Do you think that you managed to shed that title by the end of your time in the competition?
I mean, I think that's down to individual preference, isn't it? If people are very focused on the sort of like aesthetic and superficial things, then perhaps for them I didn't shed that title. But I hope that people got to see a heart and like maybe something more in there. So I hope people don't sort of like think of me as the basic bitch. But I'll take it.
And obviously aesthetics is not everything in drag anyway. I mean, it's like that. It's so, the great thing about drag, I always think, is it's so multi-layered, and we really got to see like we got to see inside of you 100%, I think.
Oh, that's really good to hear. That makes me feel.
Yeah. Now you told Rue that you'd upped your game during the lockdown break. So did you scrap any of your old looks completely and get new ones, or did you like elevate what you already had? Like, how was your time in lockdown?
Oh, I fully glued rhinestones on the things that I already had because I didn't have a job. I couldn't afford it. And I truly felt like you know, some of the stuff was elevated, maybe not necessarily what was seen, which is unfortunate, but like I truly believe that I did elevate some of my looks, maybe not to the same standard that other people elevated theirs, because I mean there are some gorgeous looks on that runway. They are stunning.
Oh my god, Taste yesterday at Bimini, I was like, some of the most amazing drag I've ever seen. Like, honestly,
Bimini's Amoeba, I'm like, who could possibly compete with that? It was amazing. But yeah, I felt like I had, and then I saw what everyone else had elevated, and I was like, I guess not.
Yeah. Do you think that sometimes Drag Race, but also just drag in general, focuses too much on sort of like the aesthetic and the finished looks? Because like I know a few queens have spoken out about how much it costs to compete and do drag in general, spending money on outfits and stuff like that. So I guess if you don't have massive finances to support that, do you feel like you're maybe starting off on the back foot or something?
The competition is a whole different world. So like the kind of drag, like where I perform at the Two Brewers or Halfway to Heaven, or like around Soho, you can get away with maybe not looking as chic and polished as you do, for example, looking gorgeous and lovely. So the aesthetics is something that I always thought I was like decent, like looking all right, but something that had really never come to play in my drag. I was like, we'll wear this today. It's very shiny and will look nice under lights. Like that was like the limit of my thinking about things. So going onto the show, I was like, what are clothes? How do I, what? Like full sort of confusion and just doing my best. That kind of thing.
I want to talk about music. Your first single, Outside In, is out today. Are you hoping to bump the United Kingdoms and UK Hun straight off the top of the charts?
Oh my god, wouldn't that be gorgeous? I'm not sure how feasible that is, but I'm just very excited to sort of like have a song out and be able to like creatively unleash something into the world, because I know we've spoken about the aesthetics, and that's something that people weren't sort of on board with, but like this song and the video that's sort of coming next week is just much more me being able to use like my creativity and passion in the way I want to. So I
saw the preview that you posted. Video looks really cool, and the song is amazing. Like it's amazing. I really, really, really like it. And you wrote that? Did you write that with Tom Aspel?
Yeah, so Tom Aspel and Little Boots, who are just like two icons. Literally like the absolute gag of the century that this has all sort of come together, and like I get to have this moment of working with some incredible people. You know, like I literally still have a Little Boots song in my set list that I perform in drag. So to like have that moment of actually like having a conversation with someone that I've like listened to and like fully look up to, I'm like,
amazing. That's what's about. Now we saw you and Ahura butt heads early in the season, but you seemed to grow closer as we went on. Has that relationship been maintained since you left the show?
Yeah, I think that's the great thing about our cast in particular, is like everyone has that bond, because we will forever be the only cast who have sort of filmed and experienced this in a global pandemic. And I think we're probably the season that's taken the longest to film of all time. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's like a year in the making or something.
Literally. So like we're always gonna like have that experience together, and I guess like no one else is really gonna understand that thing.
That bond. Yeah. And also practically the whole cast had a cry this week. Like, I was sat in bed watching this almost in tears with everyone. Do you think like the lockdown blues were affecting everyone?
Yeah, and it's like, it's the most iconic episode, is like the Snatch Game. So everything, it almost feels like everything builds to this point, and like if you get past that point, then you're on a track towards the final. Spoiler, I'm not. I didn't. I got sent home. That's all good. But like, it's just like really hard. And when you have those one-on-ones with Rue, like truly, she will bring it out of you, and like it just genuinely like feels like she's looking into your soul, and so she like brings out those feelings. So we all had a little cry.
And the show is so massive, and she's so iconic that I guess just like when you're one-on-one there with Rue and her like really asking you about personal things, whatever, it must be like, oh, it feels so real, and just like everything flows out, right? Yeah,
like we've all watched Rue for so long, it almost feels like she's an auntie that we know really well. So like, it's just like a bizarre. Maybe that's Rue's superpower. It's just like
brings tears out of everyone. Yeah. How did you first get into drag? And was everyone sort of supportive around you, your friends and family and stuff?
Yeah, so I really bizarrely started because I saw this musical that was called Saucy Jack and the Space Vixens, and there's like a drag character in it.
Okay.
And I really
aware of this reference.
Oh, it's like the most niche. It's like like Rocky Horror, but like if it was on a spaceship. It's like very niche. And like no one was doing the show, so I was like, I'm just gonna do it myself and like make it happen for myself. So basically just like put on a show. Found a bar called the Two Brewers. The manager was like, you seem camp, do you want to enter Drag Idol? I started a drag group, and then it just all carried on from there. Honestly, just like fell into it. And then it started happening, and I was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever done.
Super quick fire questions. What do you prefer, tea or coffee?
The question remains.
Oh, she's the woman of mystery. Which queen didn't you see eye to eye with?
Bimini, because I'm a foot taller.
Oh, good save. What, if anything, would you have done differently?
Clothes.
Which queen was the most annoying?
Ooh, Alan Carr? No. Who was the most annoying? Everyone in their own way, to be honest.
We have loved watching you on the show. You really are like the nation's sweetheart, and can't wait to hear more music. Can't wait to see what you do next, and love the new record. Give the record a quick plug.
Oh, Outside In by me, available on all streaming platforms and download.
Go get it. Tea Kofi, we love you. Thank you
so much.
Thanks for watching Tea Time, served to you by Attitude Magazine. Don't forget to subscribe to Attitude Magazine's YouTube channel so you never miss an episode of this scalding hot content. Check out our past episodes of Ginny Lemon and Joe Black and all the other amazing eliminated queens, and come back next week when we will return with the next queen to get the chop. Bye!